And recently I watched them play versus Nocturnal last night, and they are just so on it at the moment. The repetitions that they've had have just left them looking so crisp. Empathy set a world record on an AIM map recently as well. She is going to be, mechanically, she's going to be better than ever this week, I think.
Well, looking forward to see that one as now we dive into our very first map of the series. As mentioned, it's going to be Ancient, and well, the series may be won and lost in this map, but it may also just be won and lost at the hands of Shimmer themselves. What form will we see from them today? Will we see some signs of light from the two stand-ins on Waves as we kick things off towards the A-bomb site?
I mean, LV made a real impression earlier, and Lyra already getting a name in the kill feed. This is a stellar start for them. Ooh, bomb goes down. Now they've got to peel away, but Shimmer not wants to go down without a fight. That smoke's doing so much heavy lifting. Empathy, she's not going to be given a single fight here.
Honestly, why would you unnecessarily? Sakura pops her in the side of the head. Raven's trying to battle it back, but unfortunately, Olia going very, very nuclear in those final two kills. The dualies, my favorite guns, plural? How would you...
Oh, they're guns. There's two of them.
I mean, thank you, Affinity. I wasn't sure. Counting's been a problem today.
I know. I figured I'd just lay down the groundworks. Luckily, there wasn't more than 2 sets of dualies. Otherwise, we would go on past 4, and then that's... I know that's where it gets murky.
I mean, then you need extra arms, right? Like, then it becomes a little bit extra spicy. You know, we enjoy a bit of spice, but that's a bit freaky. But that's the first round in favor of Waves. A solid start for them, and it looks like they're going to replicate the same exec that they did in the previous. This A site free and clear. The stack, of course, over towards this B site. So unfortunately, well, unfortunately for Serendipity in particular, for Shimmer, they're not going to have the opportunity to try and shut things down on the ingress. So it's going to have to be them trying to battle back a little bit, do a little bit of damage if possible. But there should be a second round for Waves.
Should be. That's a lovely HE. Forks consumes it. And there's just the call to back away a little bit. They've got so much space beyond the site here as well. And I love the position from Olia, really just to punish this. There's one. Can she farm even more cash? Molotov goes out and they're funneled into her. Oh, it hurts to see. Serendipity's managed to run down Lyra, but there it is. A little bit of a bloodbath. They found a couple of kills here. They might take down, yeah, Serendipity goes down with a bomb. There's no way. She was in point blank range of that.
Honestly, that's a fair amount of damage to be done on an eco round, so it's not the end of the world here. Not going to be able to keep that Galil, but it doesn't matter because this would have been a buy round for them regardless. Actually, would have been nice if they could have kept it, because then instead of the MP9, you've got the Galil, so maybe you could invest a little bit more into things like utility and so on. But either way, they're still okay into this. They do still have a kit available for them, so if they find themselves in a retake scenario, they should have everything that they need. And it's all about what Waves do in this round now. The reinvestment does come through. They know that they can't afford to take this lightly. They'll start pushing in towards the same site once again. And while Forks does get that opener again within 20 or so seconds, it's the rest of the kills that are so quick to follow up. The bomb's been lost on site. Lyra's now all alone in a 1 versus 4. Her teammates have disappeared, snapped out of existence. And she's got an uphill battle ahead of her if she's even going to be able to. Gets the first onto Raven. Her position now very much known. Still hasn't been able to recover the bomb. The suppressive fire has kept her on her toes for so long. Ooh, ducking and diving. They actually do dodge out that HE. How has she gotten another one? Empathy's down. She's isolating these fights and she's still got a minute left. But finally, in the final moments, it's STX to put her down.
Now, I feel like I've done you a disservice by not setting the expectations going into actually logging into the server here. Waves last week played, how do I describe it? Utterly unhinged and nothing like we've ever seen from them before. Genuinely, Apples and I were sat on the cast and I turned around and went, I'm just going to close my notes tab because it's all gone out of the window. There's been a sudden switch up, and I think it was when they had Bezdaria wasn't playing and so they've got the new substitute in. They have been running it down. And Shimmer have just been running it down this season as well. So this is going to be one of the most aggressive matches. Case in point, Flash goes out, Serendipity gets 2. There is a trade, however. HE to go over, it's only going to be a little bit of tickle damage, but another pick has been found here. 3 versus 3. Forks needs to activate. Careful not to get overwhelmed, but they're not even looking. Bomb goes flying. She lines up the last 2, but can't quite find it. Actually, Talira gets the pick onto Scraft, a bit of a team kill, but the round nonetheless.
Bit of an unfortunate turn of events here for Waves. You know, they kick things off with those 2 rounds. You start thinking, okay, we've got a little bit of comfort here, a little bit of wiggle room available to us. But so very quickly after that, we already see Shimmer start to take the control back into their hands, forcing Waves back down onto an eco. And as you said, right, very aggressive. We're really just giving no space here to either side. We're just running directly into each other. And I'm actually glad to see here that Shimmer, instead of going for the aggressive mid control, laying down some utility to slow things down a little bit here. You know, they've realized if the enemy team is going to try and play as aggressive as we are, we can hold back and we can beat them. Fire with fire.
Lovely find there from Lyra. Immediately a pick, and there's a recovered weapon. Forks now has to be oh so wary. She does have a lovely crossfire with Serendipity. We highlighted them as the dynamic duo. And now it's just Olia left. Location unknown, but just a Desert Eagle in hand. And 3 people on the bomb site waiting, bodyguarding that C4. And it's going to be the HE in over the top. And yeah, this is the start of Shimmer having guns in their hands. The fact, however, that there has been pretty quick trades on this, that they haven't been able to get these transfers and sort of farm when they've been rushed by 3 is a really good sign, because that was a little bit of my worry when I knew that Shimmer were going to run it down. I knew that Waves were going to run it down in response, that there would be a lot of, spray transfers, and we just, Empathy with a 3k, Forks with a 4k, just on the fact that they all round in one pact. But they haven't. They've actually kept this very good on the trading.
It's an important skill to have. I think that, as you say, it can be very easy to lose control of the situation when you're in the heat of the moment. You're just kind of accelerating as fast as possible, and communications can start to break down a little bit in those moments, particularly when your aggression is being matched. So it's good to see that they're maintaining that control as far as possible. Now we're going for a little bit of a fake over towards the A side. A lot of utility coming out very, very early on here. Trying to get this opening kill. Forks will eventually get traded out. That's going to pull all of those rotations across. This is big money moves from Waves. They've pulled all of that attention. With the smoke down, it's going to block line of sight and start to make Shimmer a little bit paranoid, but they've already rotated back towards this B site. They've realized something is not quite right. One of these things does not belong. Raven! They just walk into her crosshairs. She's going to follow it up with a 3rd, and Sakura alone in mid, trying to bring up that flank. Shut down by Serendipity. A round that had so many good ideas, but Shimmer so quick to respond.
Yep. They are the team of snappy reactions, and I said this season that they were kind of playing a very run-it-down style. Very contact, yes. It's very sort of go with the flow. It's not been as rigid or structured as we saw in, the Season 7 finals, which may raise some eyebrows as they come into this, but the reads actually themselves within the rounds, whilst they have kind of just been pressing the W key, the reads behind that have been very solid. We've got Serendipity just going to be taking this control in towards mid, and Empathy, that donut player, is going to be the one to activate to make sure they've got to rely on these players in sight. Raven gets one, SPX with another. Raven still firing. There is a bullet to the head, and it comes in swift and viciously. And that is going to give them a 3 versus 2 and a little bit of space to work with to plant that bomb. They've had to come off of it, however. Forks tag through the boxes, and that HE all just on the other side. And unfortunately, in a matter of seconds, there is the backlog of players. The cavalry arrives, and 5th round stamped up there on the scoreboard.
This is looking like a fairly dominant affair here. Waves just struggling to find a footing back in. And again, I mean, it's so much down to that aggression. Trying to find ways to isolate these duels is becoming difficult. And even when they do isolate the duels, the sheer firepower, the shooting prowess of the Shimmer ladies is so difficult to match. you need to not only isolate those duels, but you need to have 2 of your players. Sakura, why are you just standing in a Molotov? What is happening right now? Why are you down to 4 HP? That is not the way that you want this round to start out. And now she's at a severe deficit. She's going to have to play a lot more patient, and that's going to put them massively on the back foot.
When I said they weren't going to respect utility, I think they also meant respected by standing in the Molotov. Defiantly. Olio's got one, and actually Scruffed with another. They've opened this up. Empathy knows she just has to get out of dodge. Manages to just about survive. Wild spray through the smoke. Forks is going to find LV. Empathy still alive, but barely can go and re-aggress. And this is going to be a difficult round, but if I was to sing 2 players' praises in this entire region, it would be these 2. Absolute units in the battlefield, but I have a feeling just a call to save. Not really worth the risk, even with all the money they could ever want.
That's unfortunate, man. It's a
Good
great way for Waves. Yeah, like it's solid, particularly with the way that it started, with Sakura just kind of burning away in the fires. Ooh, that could have been a little bit spooky. They've now spotted out where this AWP is. I don't know if hunting this is a good idea, ladies. These are not players to be trifled with. The flames, you know what? It's not a hunt. It's a... Oh, that's a CT molly. Oh my god, she's missed the second one. I don't think this is a hunt. I think this is we're trying to hide from the bomb, and the only way to get far enough away to ensure that we all survive is to cross this tunnel. And unfortunately, Forks is just not wanting to allow that to happen. It's a little bit spicy on that one, but everyone does survive at the end of that one. Weapons will be saved over, and Waves off the back of, I mean, that wasn't even like a particularly strategically deep round. It was just a really aggressive round, just a different kind of aggression. It worked out, and they're going to be super grateful for it, but how do you replicate that? And that's what they need. They need replication. They need more rounds with the same kind of results.
Yep, and Sakura burning alive again. This time she's going to take a step back a little bit sooner. Running on through, no smoke will be respected by this Waves team. Scraft and Sakura, it's absolutely immaculate. Forks needs to step up. She's got her missed shots out of the way. There's the first. She's getting ready for the next. Going to toy with the angle. She's going to get that. Immediately, the swivel back round to side. Finds the third, and the next 2 lining up. She can hear the footsteps. The Molotov, she's just going to stand in and fight. She's got the backup of Raven. She's going to miss the shot, but she's going to let her teammates do the heavy lifting. It's a lovely 3-piece, and her team to come together to secure themselves a 6. They are not going to let that one round the Waves got be a catalyst for more.
It is hilarious to me that you say she's going to let her team do the heavy lifting after she gets a 3K. Like, friend, at that point, the heavy lifting is being done.
No, this is light work for Forks. Forks missed 2 shots earlier. This is uncharacteristic, you know?
Oh, my heavens.
This is
the
rest
Forks
day for
glaze is real.
You know what? I've said it, and I'll stand by it. I think Season 7 Forks and off-season Forks was a top 3 ESL Impact AWP.
I'll be honest, I'm not saying that it's unwarranted. I believe, I came onto the broadcast with you a couple of weeks ago, and the first thing I did was talk about how phenomenal Forks is, right? Like, yeah, this is not a, oh, why? This is so surprising. No, this is like yep, we're just going to keep doing that because that's what makes sense. We're going to keep talking about how exceptional she is because she continues to be so. And until the day she stops being exceptional, well, we're just going to keep talking about how exceptional she is. Incredible performances from her.
It's something that I highlighted a lot during Season 7, is that she's finally on a team where she can really shine. And she's been on a lot of different rosters in her time, but she's finally on a team that is at the caliber and coordinates with her in the way that she can best utilize.
Seven to 3 now. Only 2 rounds remaining in this half. Waves desperately need both of them if they want to have an opportunity to kind of keep things rolling on that second half. It's going to be a tough second half no matter how you slice it. That makes these next few rounds, this next handful of rounds, that much more meaningful. So we'll give a little bit of pause here. Wait to see what this next one is going to look like. Nope, no pause. Accelerator, go, go, go. All the HEs come out. Surprisingly, I was expecting that to do a lot more damage. All of that utility out towards B. And it only does a little bit of damage onto Olya. Meanwhile, Raven has also taken a little bit of damage on the interim. They're garnering a lot of space in towards mid here, but it's going to all come down to this very first altercation. Who's going to come out on top? Player spotted. Sakura backs away. Don't want to take this fight unnecessarily. There is a potential fight coming in towards Cave. The HE connects, puts her down into the ground, but XTX is still alive on the side. She's playing hard anchor, and this anchor will not go down. Finally, Sakura cuts the cord and might just be able to get that bomb planted. 1 versus the world. In the dying moments of the bomb being planted, it's left Olia all alone to try and hold the line. And of course, Forks just gets a no-scope through the smoke because look at it. She can't even believe she did that, bro.
She's amazed by her own brilliance sometimes. I think maybe just a pot shot off. Sometimes when you just spray and hope you get lucky, but blimey. I mean, there were some worries. We talked a little bit about it, and Newt mentioned it as well. Inferno, touchy subject for Shimmer, because they lost that one map to Ghost, and I'll be honest with you, it was a 4-13. It was not pretty, and I think they took that personally. It did raise some doubts, but I mean, there we go. From Fox's perspective, I don't know if she just heard or just felt it. But I mean, we've got one more round in the half. Waves, you know what? Given that they've got 2 substitutes and Bezdaria being such a monumental key player, they've done so well. But Sakura, she is not one to sleep on either. She's an amazing player. She's one of the best ancient players in this region. Olia there with another to keep the numbers even, spraying away, hoping she can find something. Another HE goes deep. Unfortunately, Raven's already found the picks, and now she's the last left once more.
It's a tough ask for her, but she's gotten the first 2. This is incredible. She's managed to isolate those duels. Oh my god, Forks. Okay, the wall bang onto the default position. Perfectly predicted. A 9-3 half for Shimmer.
Welcome back, Counter-Strike fans and NA aficionados. 9-3 is the scoreline where we left off, and that is exactly where we are picking it back on up. Now, sides have switched. Shimmer, they were aggressive on the CT side. I can't wait to see what they bring on the T side, but Waves, they are not particular strangers to the idea of pushes either. But it's over towards this B side. We go for our first side execute off the half.
An uphill battle now for Waves to try and battle their way back in. Oh, Lara, the shot's just not connecting. She gets doubled up on, and now Sakura is left all alone. You said one of the best ancient players in the region, but is that going to be enough? 1 versus 4. Nope. Cut down in the Jaguar. And that's going to be Shimmer up to 10.
I'll be honest with you, my base for Sakura being one of the best ancient players is not based in statistic, it's based in feeling.
Vibes? Yeah, nice.
It is, but they're not playing how we would usually see them play. Usually we'd see Olia play red room, nobody even looks at mid. Their entire mid control is Olia holding mid from red room. And we'd see Sakura go for these super aggressive cheetah picks and cheetah pushes for information and just going crazy there. But I have a feeling that the strat book has been thrown out the window whilst it was on fire and got struck by lightning on the way down. So I'm not sure what we were expecting from this, but I'm excited. And part of that fluidity is what makes this Waves team, well, I mean, it's in the name, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Making waves indeed. And just a quick update on our match over on the community stream. Black Mold versus Little Box, currently 9-3 in favor of Black Mold. So a very similar situation that they've got going on there. We'll keep you updated as we find out more.
One of those teams will get their first win of the season today, which is exciting.
Banger. That should have been Capivara's today, and then it wasn't.
I apologized to Freddie when that happened. As he was leaving the voice chat as I joined, I was like, I'm sorry, Freddie. I know how much it meant to you. Ooh, went into the stack. She's going to farm some cash. I say that. Actually, she's only good for 1. The rest of their team wants something to say about it, though. They are going back and forth here. The round's already gone, but oh, Forks from behind. And look at that, 6,800.
Always got to keep your eye out for the flank. Always got to be aware that that could be a problem that needs to be dealt with at any time. Unfortunately, they were just not ready for the Forks flank. 11 rounds now for Shimmer. So close to the end of the line on this map. It's not even their map pick, friends. It's been sheer dominance all the way through. Now, we're going to see Waves trying to get up close and personal. Oh, and it's paying off the unexpected aggression. Sakura, absolutely nuclear. A 4K? Look at that excitement. She knows what she did, and she has given them a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what they need right here is something to hold on to, some sort of foothold to go with, and it was only ever going to be Sakura. It was only ever going to be her. And what a way to not let this spiral too much further, right? It's a good way to get yourself back into this. Forks on the AWP, I'm excited to see this. They're sustaining heavy damage. They're actually not being allowed to push too far up or get too aggressive here. Forks jumped on up. Signature position here. Hoping that someone will give her the fight, but they're not going to. Sakura, being tapped away. It's risky.
That is spooky is what that is. That is the last thing that you want to be happening to you when the round has just begun. Bit of a slower round here from Shimmer. Haven't quite gotten their first kill just yet.
Not yet. This is uncharacteristic. They're bringing down the stats. Newt's going to have to readjust all of them after this round.
Poor Newt, man. But he's the stat guy.
He is the
stat guy. He does. And they're just, you know what, they're making him work for his bread. Oh my god. Scraft and LV. Nice little two-piece there to keep things in a tight scenario. STX has already managed to get that bomb planted. Has to duck and dive, stop, drop, and roll through the flames. There's going to be a retake scenario now to try and bring things back into contention. How? Wow! Oh my god, it must have been the flames that denied some of the vision, but STX has been there to bring it back, to make it winnable. Olia now has to 1 versus 2. There's still utility available here for these Ts. STX doesn't even need it. A 3-piece from her. And that's Shimmer up to 12. Map point.
Map point indeed. Oops. I'm assuming the orb's been passed down the line because I saw it in the hands of Raven for a second. I was like, okay, that's a little unconventional. But you're right, weird missed shot there, but they bring it pretty close. And it's really good to see that it's maybe not gelling as a cohesive team unit, but as individuals, the subs that they've brought in, especially Lara coming in so last minute, have actually really been holding their own. Elfie a little slower on this map, but some really good opening picks and really good opening aggression that was yielding them important foothold in the rounds that they have got. Forks has got the pick to trade. It's a little bit messy. She gets one with the sidearm. Scraft's just going to peek that round the corner with speed. Is going to get that AWP dropped. And now 2 versus 3. They've got an advantage, and I'm loving this. Olia creeping through the back rooms, waiting to be that backstab.
Oh my god, Empathy, you weren't even looking. Oh, the reaction time on that is phenomenal. And that brings it down to a far more doable scenario, but we have to be aware of Olia. Oh my god, they've lined up for her perfectly. The slightest bit of trigger discipline, waiting for their heads to just be in a knockable position. And one more round, one more opportunity, but 7 rounds needed for OT.
What's that copy pasta? If Olia has 1 million fans, I'm one of them. If Olia has 1 fan, it's me. If Olia has no fans, then I am not in this world anymore. That's how I feel. She's been a player that I've watched learn and grow and be part of so many really integral rosters to the NA ecosystem for so long. And she's patient. She's always exactly where she needs to be. Ooh, Scruff's got 1. Ooh, Scruff got a 2nd. Lyra got a little bit robbed there. Serendipity found 2 with the tech lines, and Empathy's got 1 of her own. Ooh, Elfie not sure which target to peek at. Whack-a-mole, every time you shoot at one, the other peeks their head up. Another smoke to go out for Donut. Now, we know no one's there, but they're not quite sure. They don't know where Sakura is.
Oh, that's unfortunate. They knew she was behind that box, so they just had to do a little bit of tap, tap, tap. Sakura now 1 versus 2. She's done so much already on this map. It's going to take a whole hell of a lot more, and it's not going to be allowed. Shimmer on a low buy, on a bit of a pistol upgrade, force shenanigan. They do manage to close out their opponent's map pick in maybe not as dominant as we might have expected, but still very dominant nonetheless. 13-5. And they'll go up 1-0 in the series.
That they will. And actually secured here. Mirage, a map that they're also very good at. Wouldn't hurt for them to get a couple more reps on it within the ESL Impact circuit, because it's just not come up all that often. It's been a decider for them quite a lot of times, but let's be honest with ourselves, they've not gone to a decider a whole lot. Waves, they've played this once. It was versus, I think it was versus FlyQuest. Yes, it was versus FlyQuest in week number 3. It was a 9-13. They had a really good showing, and they took FlyQuest the distance with this one. Shimmer, they've only played it once, 13-10 to Lotus, which Lotus, they've really impressed me, but the fact that they conceded 10 rounds, there's a lot of questions on all sides here.
Well, let's kick off this pistol round and see if any of those questions can indeed be answered, as already a lot of damage has been done. We've cracked open the site, folks, to open up this map for the first kill, but the return fire is fantastic. They're not going to stop that bomb from being planted, but a 2-player advantage now is fantastic for them. They need to play off of each other perfectly. You've got to isolate these duels. They've done just that. Both of those players will fall by the wayside, and Waves will find themselves a 2nd pistol round.
I'll be honest with you, opening pistol rounds on maps have been very successful for them. And it's a really good way to kickstart the map. Because we saw that they got the pistol, they got the 2nd round after that, then it started to get pear-shaped. But giving yourself every advantage that you can will never, ever, ever be a bad thing. And they have given themselves a little bit of a leg up so that Shimmer don't run into this and immediately sort of get a running start. They did get the bomb down, and then, you know, I'd say in traditional Shimmer fashion, in traditional T-side fashion, once getting the bomb down, they are going to buy up. It's going to be a little bit hit and miss. A couple of Tech 9s in the mix, but all-out frontal assault for Waves with their arsenal here. And it looks like they're going to try rush Palace. They don't clear Sakura, but the issue is she isn't able to find anything. However, as they drop down onto her teammate's site, a couple more kills are found. STX has to reload, jump on through, but it is a 3 versus 3. And a couple of weapon upgrades have been found amidst all of this.
Sakura not quite able to finish her meal up in Palace, but that's okay. The rest of the team are there to back her up and to bring this into a more doable scenario once again. 3 versus 2, more than doable scenario. But with the flash coming out, that's going to elicit yet one more trade. The final kill to come through, one from below, one from above, a defuse, and it's another round for Waves, but it is an expensive one. Losing 3 players. I mean, Shimmer are going to be more than happy with how that round ended.
Bonplon and doing that level of damage, they will be chuckling to themselves with glee. But it's not going to be anything they can do directly about it. This round will just be kind of a going for broke. We're going to see the Tech 9s. We're going to see a couple of Desert Eagles. We talked about Empathy set a world record on an aim training map recently, so I'm sure she is eager to put these one taps into practice. And so she is going to go with this Desert Eagle. They've got a fair bit of utility to back them up here, so they're going to be able to have at least one solid execute onto that A site, and they're going to push through Palace, but that smoke's going to slow things down a lot. But a fake being sold over towards B, and it's actually getting pretty convincing here if they can find something, but the flash is a little bit counterproductive there, and Scruff's going to find the first.
It's been good so far from Waves, but we saw similar signs of life from them on Ancient, so we'll temper those expectations for now. This, however, should be a fairly easy round for them to come away with. I say that, we've got one smoke available now. Ah, Forks. That was the pincer. We kind of needed her to win out on that one if they were going to have a chance to get in onto the site here. Unfortunately, not going to be allowed. No more damage done, just the one onto Olia. And this is great news for Waves because not only is it yet one more round, but they've also built up a little bit of an economic buffer. It's not super comfortable, and if they lose the next round, they'll be able to buy in, but that might just be kind of the end of the economic train. So for Shimmer, I mean, this is really great because it means that if they can turn things around, they'll very quickly put Waves in an uncomfortable scenario and make it much easier to snowball into that lead.
You know, took the words right out of my mouth. Nothing more that I can add to that. We will just have to see whether that snowball will continue to roll down the hill and continue to raise some eyebrows. Serendipity, oh, there is a chunk of her health gone. They are a little bit tempted by the idea of chasing this down, but Waves, they know better. They're just going to sit on their hands for now. Don't want to be lured into a potential trap, especially when they have limited insight as to where everyone else might be playing mid completely under Shimmer's thumb here. They are going to use it to try pincer A.
I mean, the bomb is still chilling over towards B. So it looks like, for now, they do want to finish that side. So perhaps Serendipity is just a little bit of a late flank, or maybe a bit of a distraction or a diversion. Or maybe she's going to be the one moving through the spawn to go and collect the bomb to create the movement towards the B site, right? There's so many opportunities, or so many options rather, but Scraft, oh my god, she's just taken all of those options away. You want options? Your only option is death. A 4K for her, and if she can get this last little bit of damage done onto Serendipity, a phenomenal ace to close out this 4th round. I didn't think that they were going to have that in them. They've done so much already. Now Serendipity has indeed recovered that bomb, but it's one against the world. The good news is it's a lot of isolated fights. So she could actually battle back her way into this if she can separate them. The bad news is that she's got less than 20 seconds left. Scraft's not going to be allowed to get that ace after all. And despite the Molotov coming down, Olia will clean it up. Waves. Scraft, in fact. What a way to kick off round number 4.
8-1 in 4 rounds is magnificent. We talk about this a lot though, it's not sustainable to rely on just one individual. This has been a really great way for them to get into this map, right? To give themselves a huge running start on the CT side. But I'm going to want to see a couple of other names chipping on in here. Now it's just the Desert Eagles. There is a Mac 10 on Serendipity who will go and try farm in Palace. The jump on out. Lyra, there's the first. Raven gets the first pick, and the second has some backup from behind. And now there's a weapon for each of them. The drop on down, that Mac 10 has made it onto site, and it's already crossing over to triple. Empathy's found another one, and it's all gone pear-shaped. Don't even need guns. They're going to get it done on the pistols, and Scraft, she has been monumental so far, is going to need to step up in a huge way to try bring this round back under control, but I don't think they're going to. LV is going through spawn, but that smoke there's going to cause some issues. Empathy, I think, wants to peek this.
Oh my god, run straight into the Mac 10 sideline. Scraft now, she's done so much already this round, but it's going to take a whole hell of a lot more. Beautifully placed flash. In fact, it flashes Forks, but she knows where that bomb is, and she'll just aim perfectly to where she knows it should be. Oh, that's devastation for Waves. They start off so strong. They have an incredible round 4, and that just comes down to massive heroics. But in the very next round, it's return heroics. In a round where maybe Shimmer shouldn't have been able to get that much done, but it is Shimmer. It's not a team that you're going to count out, even if all they have is a few pistols to their name. They completely reset, bring things back around, and now that knife's edge economy comes into fruition for Waves.
Very much so. Olia, she promised me, well, she tempered my expectations. She told me not to expect too much AWPing going on today, but she has the AWP on out here, and I'm excited to see how we're gonna get to see it utilized. She's over towards that B site right now, so locked out of the action, and with Serendipity finding another kill, she's going to have to move on over quickly. 2 players in connector, utility in hand. Skura didn't quite get the opportunity to punish that, however. Lovely flash goes over. Serendipity's got one. They know another player's here. Raven for the second, now Olia's AWP. Good for the first, but still so much to ask of here. Ooh, missed shot even with the weapon out. Forks will not allow a re-peek to come on through. And a second falls into the laps of Shimmer.
A nice reposition from Forks as well, just to ensure that her position isn't going to be utterly telegraphed. So when that re-swing does start to come through, she's in a completely different place, no idea where she is, and she can get that final kill, get that final nail in the coffin. These have been really close rounds, and that's been the one saving grace for Waves. The fact that they have been keeping it really contested, and they know that they can make that magic happen. But now with the economy being broken, if Shimmer win this round cleanly, they start to build up that economic buffer. So for Waves, they need to try and do as much damage as they possibly can in this round. And it's going to be a tough ask no matter how you slice it. Maybe, just maybe, get 1 or 2 kills into this one. Keep things tight. Keep the pressure on as much as possible for the Shimmer squad.
Raven's got so much space over towards apartments for them to crunch off of as well. Olia's actually going to be the one to find the first there. All Forks, uncharacteristic miss. You know what they say, the hardest shots to hit are the easy ones.
Mm-hmm.
And seems to have very much been the case today. Lyra can hear so much commotion on him mid. Scruff goes for the swing. Forks, however, super quick on the reposition, the readjust on that. Oh, they can hear the footsteps waiting the perfect time. They run, they disrespect for the smoke, but unfortunately, Forks is going to disrespect them. 2 Desert Eagle shots to the dome, and now Olia, the last left alive. She will be able to pick up a weapon here. But this is an ironclad defense, and yeah, the health bars aren't great. They know that they've lit them up, but there's really no option in a 1 versus 3 with no information and a single flash on how to crack the code on that one.
I was really kind of in 2 minds about what I thought Olia might do here, right? Like, there's a chance that she goes and tries to just get 1 more kill, just that little bit of extra damage done, but holding onto the rifle into the next round, it's such a difficult line to walk. See, having 1 extra gun, how much of a difference is that really going to make? Yes, they're going to buy in here, so it means they're going to have that little bit more utility, but they would have been able to buy regardless. It would have been a little bit more strenuous, it would have been a little bit more stressed, but they would have been able to. But they could also have done some severe damage to Shimmer's long-term economy. And it's difficult. You've got to weigh up all those pros and cons. What it has done is it's allowed Olia to bring out the AWP. To maximize the investment and the risk that's been taken, this AWP is going to have to really pay off in this round.
Talking of AWPs paying off, Forks already line of sight interconnected. They face no resistance in mid, and she gets the tag. They both get the tag, actually. Live and let live as they both walk away. Sakura has the first pick onto SDX. And now immediately repositioned. Scruff fully flashed, very wary that any second now could be hurt demise. Sakura goes down. Molotov for Van. Empathy's found the first two? The first two? She gets the second there, and Olia, now with the AWP, gets one, flashed off the angle. It's amazing that she's good for the second. She doesn't know she's toying with the idea at the side on, but actually the AWP, it's feeling so fluid right now. Raven's going to tuck into bench here. Olia, is she going to be ready for the swing out? I don't think she is, and she's going to go down. Lyra now can hear the bomb going down. No, somebody was to the left, and somebody must be on site. But the issue is how? How do you try prepare for both of these fights? Through the bench, she runs out of bullets. It's not the first time we've seen it this series, but it still hurts nonetheless. But 4-4 tied up, but they don't lie down and they don't go quietly.
That's so rough, man. I mean, phenomenal performance from Olia with the AWP as well. I was saying that it needed to pay off, and it very, very nearly did warrant the, the
expense,
not risky. Yeah, the expense, 100%, right? But unfortunately, not enough to drag them over that finish line. Now they back down onto just a couple of upgraded pistols and, the MP9s, because they know they need to go for a cash farm. It's now become rather important that they start to build up some semblance of a bank account. And Shimmer, I mean, the money is still being kept relatively tight. Even if they lose this round, they'll still be able to bring that AWP out into the next round. They'll still be relatively comfortable. And let's face it, they're not losing this round. It should be yet another foregone conclusion. And unfortunately, we're also getting to the point now where the economic damage is it's starting to matter less and less and less. Unless Waves can actually pick up a round and start building some momentum again, it's going to be rather meaningless. One consolation kill for Olia with the MP9 for that extra little bit of cash in the back pocket. Valera's all alone now. Can hear the footsteps, knows that Raven is on her tail, knows that somebody is. The 5-7 though, this could cause some absolute havoc. Oh, that HE, it's so nasty, it's so chunky. But Raven finds her, puts her down. 4 players remaining for Shimmer. It's been 5 rounds on the trot. No signs of slowing down.
No, not a sign of slowing down in sight. And it just seems that they're ramping up. You make a good point that we talk a lot about the economic damage. That starts to matter less and less with so few rounds left in the half, because there's no amount of damage you're going to do that's going to matter with how few rounds are left in the half. You just need to be getting the rounds on the board. They have kept it relatively humble. It hasn't been just outright, 10-0 to Shimmer. Missed shot though, and it's being capitalized off of. They saw a weakness, and Empathy's just going to hold down left click. And now Serendipity round the corner. They're going to take so much space beyond the site. They've given themselves the buffer. They've given themselves the padding. And you know what? They have no reason not to hunt down these last 2 players.
So you absolutely should. Make it a little bit of a statement victory. Keep this very much an unrecoverable position. It's not unrecoverable yet, but they want to make it that way. They want to put so much pressure on Waves that there's no way back in as this half continues to tick by. And that does mean that Waves have to, they have to be super considerate of every single step that they take. This is going to put them, the strain on the mental will surely start to show itself.
Oh, the AWP goes down and there's not enough time to recover. It is uncomfortable. And I know Olia said that she was not overly fond of the idea of AWPing today. So maybe it's not the biggest detriment in the world, but still it is a heavy and expensive piece of weaponry that would have just supported LV's A1S there, and they would have supported each other very sort of symbiotically there. But HE goes out over to Ram. It's not really going to do too much. 2 players tucked into hell, actually. Mira wants something to have to say about this, but unfortunately she overextends hand, slapped away from the cookie jar. Raven toying with the corner, HE to accommodate the peak, just tag up anybody that's there. The Molotov is going to force them all out, and it's so perfect. Amazing flash comes over, but Empathy's already found Scruff with the molly. Sakura gets 1, but now it's just left LV by her lonesome. 1 versus 4 on the other side of the map, and there's already a hunt going. There's already presence from Empathy in towards mid, just to make sure that there's no rotates. There's not even an attempt to look at this bomb site.
We're at that point again, right? We kind of toyed with it a little bit over on Ancient, but it's that scenario of like, what do you do now? What possible recourse do you have? What actions can you take to try and come back into this series? Because Shimmer, I always talk about round 5 being the momentum shifter, and it's exactly what's happened. It was a little bit shaky on the way up to round number 5, but once they got there, they have looked incredible. And a couple of the rounds thereafter, also a little bit close, a little bit more labored. But as the rounds went on, the dominance has continued to rise. And I don't know. I don't know how Waves get back into this. You know, we got 1 round left in this half. They've got 1 more buy that they can bring into this. Olia's got the AWP in hand again, and she's had some incredible performances between her and Scraft. They've done so much to keep this alive as far as possible. But without this 1 more round, I don't know if they stand a chance in the second half.
I'm not sure either. They've been good with the pistols. There's always hope, and it's a pretty even map, but this would be a really important one to find Raven. Oh, the drop down and the adjust is so quick. The smoke goes deep, but they are not willing to respect it. The Molotov, however, is going to cause them a little bit more food for thought, but SDX already jumped on out, already found 1, and Empathy's already in market.
She says already as if Newt didn't give us the stats, man.
True.
The movement is so quick. It's so snappy. And Sakura's trying to battle back. She's had a bit of a rougher map than what we saw on Ancient. Struggling to get the same kind of value as before, but realizing now with the pressure so heavily on their shoulders, she needs to step up. Oh, she's just going to get baited into Forks' crosshairs. Olia, we've seen her from this position get double kills, get so much done, but it's a 1 versus 3. It's going to take a bit of a miracle.
No.
And the miracle's denied the Zeus to close it out. Call Hassan, it's an 8-4 half.
Press play.
A Zeus from Forks to end the half, but will Lightning strike twice for them? 8-4 for Shimmer, and it is a slow, silent creep through Palace for this pistol round. Pistol's looking pretty good for Waves. They've got 2 of the 3 so far. Can they make it another? And there's Raven with the Julies, SDX with another, but it's 2 for 2, an eye for an eye. And Lyra finds more. They've taken the whole site. Now the reinforcements are rushing on over. They're taking a second to get there. It's on Empathy. She spots a shoulder, but it's not a head. She can't quite take them down off the back of this. Baited into the double stack, but she takes both down anyway.
Oh, that's unreasonable. And now LV all alone to try and defend this bomb. She's got to try and buy as much time as she can. And of course, Shimmer realizing time is not on their side. They're going to push. They're going to get aggressive, recover the kit, and the defuse will come through. Shimmer up to 9. Waves not allowed to get the second pistol round. It is... Oh, it's looking like the end of the line now.
It is, it's definitely a bad omen. I'm a firm believer, and you know what, Nara, you tell me off for this all the time. I'm a believer that it's not over till it's over. Now, we came into this saying that it very much would be, but I like to have hope until the end because they got 4 rounds against Shimmer on Mirage. That is a pretty statement. And I don't think it is going to be a win, don't get me wrong, but I don't think this is going to be as cut and dry as people might necessarily think.
You know, I'm used to being the optimistic one, so I feel like... I was saying I had my villain arc in the previous game, but maybe I need to keep going with that villain arc because that's a whole lot of cope affinity. I'm gonna be real with you right now.
Doesn't North America just make you feel warm and fuzzy inside? Does it not bring out the best in you, Sam?
No. Well, see, it's less about North America and it's more about, like, you can't have 2... sunshiny rainbows on a broadcast, right? So you need to have
Apples and I
spice.
do that all the time. There's some disrespect going on here.
Well, now you know why I never watch your cast. I'm kidding. I love it. It has nothing to do with the cast being at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Sam isn't a
Everything to
villain
do
here.
with
I didn't want to believe
rainbows.
it.
I did tell you,
right.
if I don't tease you, I probably don't like you very much.
True. I know that you secretly got a soft spot for these teams as well.
Graft. Go on,
amazing.
girl. Okay, only good for 1 this time. I say only. She's opened up the doors for the rest of her team. Only 2 players remaining now for Shimmer. LV up close and personal with the smoke, waiting to see if anyone shows face. She wins the duel against STX. The MP9 will put her down, but Serendipity has a lot to do here. Does she even go for it? Doesn't look like she does. She's got a kit, but she doesn't know just how lit up Olia is and why take this unnecessarily. She's going to back the hell away, hold on to the weapon. I think there's a world in which she actually wins this, but I also think that this is the right call to make in the grand scheme of things.
I think you're spot on. It's a team that you can never count out, but sometimes you've just got to concede. Sometimes you've got to tip your hat and know that whilst you probably could, there's still a huge element of risk that may not be worth it because Waves, they did find a little bit of footing in that. You don't want to give that away to them as well. And also, I think for Shimmer, it's a matter of pride about how they close out maps, right? They lost that 1 map. That was unacceptable to them, right? They want to keep things as clean as they can. So losing this one in order to make sure that the round after is a little bit stronger, it's all sort of proportionate risk and sacrifice.
Just an update. Black Mold have been the team to finally get themselves a win this season. They did manage to take down the little box, so yeah, we'll take that one to the bank.
Be happy.
Indeed he will. He's a big fan of the Black Mold squad, as this is looking like a pretty telegraphed round. All 5 staying alive at the end is incredible news for Waves. It's only a 4-round deficit.
Yeah,
Affinity. Your copium might be rubbing off.
I was gonna say, I figured that it was infectious, but I didn't realize how quickly it would start working. But I think it's true that there's still a long way to go, but the fact that the scoreline is as close as it is still a really good sign. The fact that Waves are doing this with a 2-player deficit it cannot be understated. And actually, it's a little bit of a utility deficit on this side that Shimmer have got a decision to make. Do they take the L early rounds and save that utility for a potential retake? Or, knowing them, they probably just want to take this fight and win it before that bomb can ever see the ground.
Deny that plant, deny the extra cash, make it as expensive as possible. Empathy up close and personal. There will be no empathy in the server today. No one showing any signs of that warm and fuzzy emotion. It's
true.
Shimmer going up to 11. The bomb denied as predicted. 2 rounds away from ending out the series.
Yep. They are on a knife's edge with this one. I say that. It's on the knife's edge because it's just how quickly it kind of happens at this point. Forks has got the AWP in hand, and we know exactly what she's like with it. And now she's on the CT side where she can even more efficiently use it, especially on a map like this. SDX, ooh, spots 2 nades, is walking away, lucky to be alive, but calling all of this over to the team. And now Forks holding the line, good for the first, and that's when Raven swings, the dynamic duo, the troublesome 2. And still fighting for a little bit more here. Neither goes down. The flash is amazing, but Forks has got her back and immediately regains vision. But both of them fall. And Sakura's found another one, Scraft with 2. And Serendipity, high alert, has to just fall back. But the double Molotov, she's burning to a crisp. Empathy now needs to step up. There's the first. Location known. Spray through the smoke. It almost lines on up. But now decisions. She's going to go for this every day of the week. She's hoping that she can spot just a little bit of a window. And she's tagged up Scraft so badly.
Oh, Scraft spots her through the top of the smoke, but can't connect the shots. The spray just doesn't connect. And Empathy survives. That's actually a little bit unreasonable.
Go on, defuse the bomb, please, Empathy. You've already killed them. They're already dead. You can stop stabbing.
Oh, my heavens. Map and series point now.
It is. In a typical Empathy fashion, you don't ever want to isolate a 1v1. You know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see a 1v1 tournament between Empathy and Bibion. I think that would go incredibly hard.
I think that would be very scary. I actually said this to Bibi, I think it was last year's Stockholm finals, and I was like, girl, I love you, but I have never hated you more than in the, was it IESF? Where did South Africa compete? You'll know this.
Probably
but I watched BB just run circles around the ZA team, and it made me really sad, and I had to tell her, like, girl, I love you, but I hated you that day.
Alrighty. Potentially the last round in this penultimate series. Molotov goes out. Scruff, just as she wanted to peek, is told very fervently no. SDX waiting. Utility's going to go over the top, so she's going to be on high alert about this, but no one's dropped up yet. Flash goes over, so there's a window of time. She knows that. She's going to call that over. Adjustments to be made accordingly. And actually, Serendipity is going to fall further back on to be out of regard for her life.
We do want to try to survive. I mean, this is not the way that you want the final round in the series potentially to have shaped up with the buy that you bring onto the table. A Deagle and a MAC-10 to try and complement the rifles, and already we've got 2 players that have fallen to the wayside. Scraft has been a revelation on this map, but she's going to have to be a miracle if they want to keep this going a little bit further. She's taken Forks off the board. That's the raid boss down, but unfortunately, there's another raid boss in this server. She battles it back as far as she possibly can. A 3K in the round. It would have needed to be an ace, and it was denied. 13-5, 13-6. 2 very dominant maps for the Shimmer squad. There will be no map 3 today. There will be no second dropped map this season, as Shimmer take this series in an incredibly one-sided fashion.
Yeah, they have been looking good, ramping up. They've had most of their difficult games